Hello, this is James, King of Games. So, King of Games for the month of June, using the new cards, using the fur hires. Alright, I'm sorry to make 2 fur hire videos in a row, but we need to get this King of Games out of the way so that now we can do like worms and other stuff. So, this is largely the same as the for hire deck I posted yesterday. The one major change is that I had a Cosmic Cyclone and I switched it out for a Dyna, because you don't really need that much back row removal. If you feel that there's iffy back row, you use your recons, or if you're able to search, you get out your Wiz, and Wiz just takes, as long as you're aware of are you getting baited or not, Wiz will take care of any back row that you have to deal with. So like, don't get baited by an Econ, save Wiz's once per turn negation for a Wall of Daddy, that kind of thing. So we have 2 beats. Beat is your searcher monster. You could do this with 1 beat. It's just, any reasonably coherent deck can make King of Games. It's just how much tilted you want to deal with. So beat, he lets you search out your other monsters. Wiz, that's your negate, and also the extra LP comes in clutch. 3 Dyna, because our focus here is of course the beatdown skill, and he's just so big and cuddly. Seal is actually a little more than just a budget version of beat, because of the 400 extra attack points, which, believe it or not, do make a difference for the beatdown. When you have a beatdown of like Seal and Dyna, and then not Dompa but Recon. 2 Dompa and 2 Recons. A lot of people run 1 Recon and 3 Dompa, because Dompa destroys face-ups and Recon destroys only face-downs. I would have loved to have this for the WCS, because you can adapt to the meta. If you're playing a bunch of face-up cards with face-up decks, so your Masked Heroes, your Amazons, you put in Dompas, and you're dealing with a bunch of face-down garbage, stall, you use your Recons. 1 Forbidden Chalice and 2 Enemy Controllers. Enemy Controller was limited for a reason, so if you're using a deck that can use Enemy Controller, you have an edge already. 1 Forbidden Chalice is basically a 3rd Enemy Controller. If you're facing off in the mirror, you can either Tribute take their monster, or you can Chalice it, which is actually better. But the Enemy Controller is more flexible. And then 3 Mayhem for hire for getting that special summon and the Dompa destroy on the opponent's turn, and 1 Treacherous Trap Hole. If you ever have Treacherous Trap Hole, if you can use Treacherous Trap Hole, do it. The 1 for 2 is the strongest, and everybody's doing it. So in order to maintain consistency, you need to do it. You need to also have Treacherous Trap Hole in order to keep up. So we're gonna do replays. Over the course of playing this, I realized the strength of for hires is forcing your opponent to respond to you during the main phase, because if you get the full chain out, if they let you get the full chain out, then they don't know what's gonna happen. So they're forced to either Econ take or Chalice or use up their cards on your first card, and then you're able to see their strategy and then set and respond. So here's our first replay, playing against an Aster Phoenix. I think that all Asters are Masked Heroes, but some of them are Noble Knights now. Alright, so we have Dompa, Beat, and Recon, and we set an Econ, and it is Cyber Angels. So this, anyway, I figured that this was Masked Heroes. I didn't want to just waste my guys. I was pretty sure it's not. If you think it's like a life cost 0 deck, make sure you get out your guys. But you don't always want to pass, but you want to pass when it's appropriate. So I was here, I was able to protect myself with Enemy Controller, so I chose to otherwise pass my turn. And I'm regretting it. Well, as soon as I saw it was Cyber Angel, I was like, Takini, F. I could have gotten that free destroy with the enemy controller. And you're seeing a lot of these Cyber Angels now because of the limitation of the enemy controller. And discards the one random card, discards the beat. But we're going to get out the Seal, Strategist for Hire. He's just a cheap beat. So Seal into Dompa, into, just another attack point monster. So, are we going to destroy the Saphira? Saphira has protection, and we have an Econ. So, what are we going to do? We're going to destroy the Senju. We're going to chain the Econ just to be cheeky. Tribute off our weaker monster. Activate the beatdown because we now have a 6-star, and we have enough damage on board to get that OTK. Oh, it's so sweet. All right. So that, anyway, so that's the enemy controller. That's the power of having enemy controller when nobody else has enemy controller. Yeah, you want to rely on the deck. You want to rely on the core competency of the deck, and not use a bunch of, like, a lot of people, they run a bunch of Cosmic Cyclones, and Cosmic Cyclone is good for when you get Cosmic Cyclone is good when you get it turn 1 and you banish that face down Treacherous Trap Hole and you protect your cats. But that does, that doesn't always link up, so it's actually a pretty inconsistent card in this deck. You're better off relying on Wiz. So we have Noble Knights and we get the turn 1 flash play. This deck is actually really good against Noble Knights. So we get that turn 1, that nice flashy play. He gets out the Merge Route into Dristan, the Typhoon, and then Dristan's gonna get the kill. So here's forcing to respond. He has to respond to my Dompa, and I know that he's gonna kill it. So I let him kill the Dompa because that's the most expendable. Because Dristan, people forget this, but Dristan prevents targeting, and he's a sponge. You can't target the other Noble Knights with effects. You can't, or attack. Wait. Yeah, cannot target your opponents with attacks or card effects. So now he draws a monster, which is actually pretty rare. So we have to protect with our set Mayhem, but fortunately we have 2. So we're gonna get Mayhem, we're gonna get Dompa, and we're gonna get Floodgated, and we're gonna enemy controller for the Dristan. We're gonna get Seal, Strategist for Hire, and Dinah. Seal's gonna let us recover Dompa. Now remember, Dompa is not that useful because of the Destiny, but we're gonna get to destroy all of the good things. And now we have our own sponge, and he is not able to respond, but he does draw a Noble Arm. So we drop top deck a Seal. We get into the Dompa, and Strategist lets us recover a Dinah. So if that had been a beat, we would have searched a Dinah, and that's why we have 3 Dinahs to make sure that we can account for that possibility. So Dompa gets the destroy, removes the protection of the Noble Arms of Destiny. This one was a very near thing, and we get all that good damage. So that was made possible by forcing the opponent to destroy with just the inherent strength of the For Hire deck. Now, the other thing about beat is you don't need to obsess about having all of your beats because that doesn't really work. Because searching, it's good for searching out Wiz and Dinah because they're the end of the chain. But if you search out a Recon, if you need to search out a Recon or a Dompa, that doesn't work, right? Because you normal summon your beat, you special summon another monster. I guess you would special summon in that case a Seal. You still have your special summon, and then you use that then beats effect activates, and it gives you the Recon. But then you can special summon the Recon, but it doesn't do anything. All right, so here we have Gears, and then we open Treacherous Trap Hole. It's like free money. We have the full sets. We have to be careful. So we're gonna go beat into Recon, but he does have the Floodgate Trap Hole, so we're just playing around the floodgates all day here. So he attacks into the beat, and I choose to protect, and I tribute tech, getting kind of spendy with the enemy controllers. I choose to protect, and here I'm gonna go recon, and recon does not allow. Recon gets chalice. We cannot get the Dome Pa and destroy the back row. It's looking iffy. I'm glad we have 5,000 life points. All right, so we get recon, scout for hire, and Dinah, and Dinah we're just gonna banish. Oh no, wait. Yeah, that was Dome Pa. We got the, yeah, so we saved the Dome Pa, and then when we special summon our Dinah, that lets us get the destroy on the monster killer. We still have the Geargia accelerator, so we're gonna top deck, and we top deck that beat. Maybe you do 1-3. So that lets us get Dome Pa again, and we get the destroy, and he top decks another Geargia accelerator gear, beat into Dome Pa, get the search, but again, seal, you know, we have lots of stuff in the grave. So as soon as you have stuff in the grave, seal is as good as beat. But we got beat into Dome Pa, into Dinah, and then Dome Pa is going to get the destroy. And this is, yeah, oh, and I keep seeing that banish, and I keep thinking about, like, you know, Mega Rock Dragon or something like that. But, or no. Spellbooks, but it's in fact my Dinah, and we attack for game. Alright, and then, okay, here's another Aster Phoenix. Woo! Alright, so, you know, and I had a really good matchup against Amazons, but I saved the more interesting replays. But Amazon, the game against Amazons is that you force them to respond. Like, you go recon into Dome Pa, and then you have your third monster, and then whether or not they respond with onslaught, recon is able to destroy it. So it's not the thing where if it gets flipped up, like you target with recon, and then if this back row gets flipped up, it's safe. Recon still destroys the flipped back row. Okay, so this time we have aliens, and this Alien Kid is actually a really big problem because we're all about special summoning, and Alien Kid is all about getting the counters on the special summon monsters. And apparently it's ice counters in the replay. So he goes Brainwashing Beam, and we tribute to get damage while we still control the monsters. So we quick play the enemy controller into the tribute. Because Brainwashing Beam, it lets him keep the monster until the end of the turn, and that could have been the OTK right there. But instead we get damage and we lose our beat. So we are going to go so we draw Mayhem, we go recon into Dinah. Dinah gets a counter, we get the beat down. Now it's important to keep track of the math. If there's two aliens, it's 2 times minus 300, so minus 600. So right now, if Dinah battles any either of these, he loses 600. However, our opponent, I guess, is not aware of that, so he passes, thinking that, wait, no, oh, 1900. No, Dinah, no, yeah, because Dinah's the sponge. Dinah's the sponge, and he would have had 1900. It's not enough. Yes. Okay. So that buys us a turn. So this is the power creep in action, right? Dinah is strong enough, even with a counter, is strong enough to shrug off 2 of the small aliens, even Alien Warrior. So just by he squeaks out just by 100. All right, so we go recon, special summon the Wiz. Wiz is good against aliens because she's going to negate all of those nasty A-cell recombination devices. But she does get a counter, so we're going to get the beat down. We got to be strategic about this. So we get the beat down. So with two level 6 or higher, Dinah gets bumped up by 600. But again, he still would have gotten the kill. Alien Warrior, 2 counters. Now Wiz can attack safely, and Recon can have a moment of glory, and she can attack for game. All right. And our final replay and my rank up match was actually it's actually pretty straightforward. It actually worked out kind of nice. And this is the power of enemy controller when other people don't have enemy controller. Well, I guess Noble Knights, they can run enemy controller, but they don't because they're so beholden to their you know, their Typhoons and their double Cyclones and the Noble Arms cards. So we open a beat. This is actually, wow, this is, you know, you open with this hand and it's like, okay, all I need in my deck that runs, I think it's 13 monsters, all I need is another monster. All right, any monster, and this is great. And we draw a second beat. So for hires, they can't special summon their clones. So we're just gonna go one swordsman alone. And so this is when I realize the strength of for hires, right? So he sees the beat, he just assumes I have the combo, because if I drew even halfway decently, well, I drew really well and then I top decked like pretty bad, but he doesn't know that. So he is forced to respond because he doesn't want me to get the search with beat. So he uses his treacherous trap hole early. And because Dristan is protected by Noble Arms of Destiny. So we just have to set these two, we used our normal summon, and we take the attack, and he leaves Dristan in defense position, guarding against the wall of the daddy, which I don't have. Now I don't, no monster again, well, no different monster again, and okay, so finally we get beat, and then he's gonna go Glory the Noble Knights, and I know what he's going for. We're gonna put the Chalice onto the Dristan, he's gonna get the Gallatin, and we are gonna go Treacherous Trap Hole onto those two, but of course, Noble Destiny protects the Dristan. Now notice, we're still in the main phase. Alright, we're still in the main phase because the nature of the For Hire deck forces the opponent to respond immediately. So instead of entering the battle phase and then you know, getting Typhooned and whatever, and then having to deal with it next turn, I can deal with it this turn. So we're gonna go beat into Seal Strategist For Hire. We're gonna search the Dyna. Alright, we're gonna special summon the Dyna. And then Seal's gonna recover a beat. We don't need that. And I know that Noble Knights, they don't have Karibo. So we're gonna Tribute Take, switch it into attack position, and get that beat down. That is money. That is money. So that's the strength of For Hires, forcing the opponent to respond, being able to use enemy controller, and being just so darn cuddly. Thank you for watching.